From the Opupka Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. Barry, time for our weekly inbox segment. Questions from the emails. We'll get to try to answer them here on video. Let's start with David. David says, truth be told, the replacement refs weren't much worse than the other refs. Every person on earth makes mistakes. Don Dinkinger, anyone?
Well, you're talking to a lifelong Cardinal fan, so I mean I know all about Don Dinkinger and his status in the Royals Hall of Fame.
Paging Mike Baldwin to have this debate with you, by the way.
But the replacement refs were way worse than anybody could have thought. It's unbelievable how bad they were. There was an unbelievable new-found appreciation for NFL officials.
Absolutely.
We didn't find out just how bad the replacement refs are. What we found out was how good the regular refs are.
Absolutely.
The administration of the game just completely crumbled. It was anarchy. It was Lord of the Flies. No adult supervision. We're going to have that again starting Thursday night with the Browns and Ravens. The refs can't get back here quick enough. Sure, they mess up. Sure, they miss a call or three. They don't let the chaos ensue.
Well, and I think part of it, too, was players and coaches, to some degree, acted like they were substitute teachers. Everybody just said, all right, let's see what we can get away with here. But we found out that if you don't keep a tight rein on stuff, it can really get out of hand. You know, yes, other referees make mistakes. I mean, think about NBA officials, Barry. What if the NBA had a ref lockout? It'd be bad, because the game really needs to be officiated by guys and gals that know what's going on. And it's impossible to think you could go from calling junior high games, even high school games, even small college games, and jump to the NFL and be ready to go. That takes years and years and years. And it's just, those replacement refs in large part were put into a really almost impossible situation. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Ryan. Ryan says, do you think Josh Heupel is the weak link on the OU coaching staff?
No, I think Bruce Kittle is. I mean,
naming names. All right, here we go.
Bob Stoops hired a guy with virtually no coaching experience, much less college coach or major college coaching experience. Now, I do think Josh Heupel, I still think the jury's out on his offensive coordinating. We're in year two. Last year was so-so. Some high points, some low points. This year, off to a bad start. Landry Jones didn't help his old mentor much. But if you're looking for weak links, to me, Bruce Kittle's the one that sort of still sticks out. I mean, this is a guy that hardly any coaching experience, old friend of Bob Stoops. We'll see how it goes. He's got all kinds of things on his resume that you like, and you think, hey, this guy can help us. But as far as coaching football, it's not there. So
inexperience.
If you're looking for the weak link, I think you start with Bruce Kittle.
Yeah, inexperience is high with him. There's no doubt about that. Now, the question of Josh Heupel, I will say this. It's a little bit, watching that game on Saturday, it was a little bit confusing to me, Barry. I mean, just in terms of, I really felt like the Sooners had a great advantage, speed in their receivers, and they really didn't throw the ball down the field very often. And I know Landry Jones was struggling from the start, so maybe you pull those plays back because he's not throwing it well. But I would have tested K-State's secondary more. And then the running backs, I just really felt like it was kind of a hodgepodge of how they use those guys. So just not seeing that consistency with the offensive game plan. That, to me, is the biggest issue with Josh Heupel right now. We'll see how it goes the rest of the year. All right, back to the inbox. Max says, can the Cowboys win even in T-Boone's house? Probably not, even though the Cowboys are only a 2.5-point underdog against Texas. You got to have a quarterback. Good point here, Barry.
Well, it is a good point. Now, can they win at Boone Pickens Stadium? Absolutely. OSU's talent level has reached the point where they can compete with anybody. They've won 2 straight years in Austin, but Texas looks better. OSU obviously not as good without Brandon Weeden and Justin Blackman, and now the injury to Wes Lunt makes it really iffy. But this is the time for the OSU defense to step up. This is the time. This is the kind of game where we've been talking about the OSU defense. Praised them at times last year. They were awful at Arizona. This is the kind of game where they need to come out and play a dominant game. Hold Texas down. Hold Texas to 10, 14, 17 points. Give J.W. Walsh the chance to win this game 24-20 or something.
Right.
It's on the defense to play well Saturday.
Defense needs to get some turnovers. That's something that they really haven't done this year. And this is a group that last year got a ton of turnovers, ton of takeaways, really helped their offense by getting the ball back. They've only done it twice in my recollection so far. But remember, a year ago, they didn't have a ton of turnovers in the non-conference. When conference play started, that's when they really took off on that. But they got to prove they can do it again. I think that OSU can win. I just think it's going to be tough, but you're going to have to get some turnovers. I think they've got to make David Ash really feel uncomfortable. Really got to force him into maybe turning it over, coughing it up, throwing an interception or two, something he has not done. We'll see how it goes on Saturday. All right, this question from Lynn, Barry, back to the inbox, says, I'm as critical as the next guy regarding Landry Jones' poor play, but maybe there needs to be more consideration given to OU's system. OU's offense puts more pressure on the quarterback to play well than just about any top offense around.
Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but they do put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And This goes back to something you said a couple minutes ago. I think that OU has gotten away from the running game under Josh Heupel. And I think the Sooners need to look at maybe relying more on the running game. Under Kevin Wilson and even Chuck Long, it was a balanced offense, lots of runs to go with the spread passing attack. Not as much in the last year or so. So to me, that is a critical thing. And when you see Landry Jones make all the mistakes that he made, one thing you do is you take the ball out of his hands some, get it into the running backs, try to forge a ground game. Yeah. Does OU have the offensive line to do that? I don't know. It's possible that they don't, but I think I'd find out.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a try because some of their running backs were really solid on Saturday, but did it in limited carries. And let's remember, too, we heard all offseason about Trey Millard, how much more he was going to get the ball. Talk about a guy that doesn't need much help blocking. He's a battering ram of a guy when he has the ball in his hands. Why not give him the ball a little bit more? Some things that were talked about but maybe aren't being done now. Oklahoma needs to get back to. Just see what they can do. I don't fault their system, Barry. I mean, in this day and age, passing and having emphasis on your quarterback, hey, that's sort of how it goes nowadays. But they've got some running backs. They've got some talent at that position. I think they just need to use it a little bit more. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.